Good evening, my C++ students, and welcome to our tutorial on nested if statements. So, Vincent, you asked for the question or the section to be covered, nested if. What seems to be the problem with nested if, Vincent?
I just wanted a whole overview and obviously to better my understanding on nested if statements as well.
Okay, so let's take it from the study guide. Your study guide says they talk about a nested if. Now you must remember, Vincent, we are jumping into lesson 12 on nested if statements. You need to know what is an if statement, okay? And
Yes,
that's
sir.
from lesson 11. Programming is such that you cannot leave out the previous knowledge. So if they're talking about nested if, you got to know what's an if statement. And if you got to know what's an if statement, you got to know what's a variable and how you make a selection. So I'm just jumping into it because time is of the essence. We're writing exams in a couple of days' time. So you need to have gone through all this work in exercise 11. But very briefly, let's go through some of the programming principles from lesson 11. This is called your relevant previous knowledge. If I was a teacher and I had to talk to my students or my lecturer and he had to ask me, how am I going to do this lesson? I'll tell him before I start the lesson, I will need to ensure that the student knows about the if statement, right? Now, obviously, I can't go back all the way to lesson 1. Then I'll be repeating myself over and over again. So in terms of the if statement, the important points to note is under programming concepts on page 137. Go through all of that. I did some of the work yesterday with the Boolean operators and, or, and not. That will appear again. What's an if statement? There we go. If statement, I'm basically making a choice, a selection. If something happens, if there's some condition that needs to be met, what do I do? And if the condition is not met, what do I do? So that's basically defensive programming. So it's similar to what we're doing in life. If I am hungry, then I will eat. Otherwise, I will sleep. Okay?
Okay.
Now, with an stop me wherever you want to, Vincent. This is your lesson.
All right.
You asked me, right? It's a conversation we can have as well. Now, with a nested if statement, Vincent, in lesson number 12, what happens is I have to determine how hungry am I. So I'll say, if I am hungry, if I am thirsty, if I am feeling sleepy, what do I do? So I've got more selections to be done, more choices, more actions to take place, right? So that's what happens with the nested if statement. Now, again, you said you want
to... basically it gives you more options.
Yes. It gives you more options to select, right? Because you want to refine your outcome, your output. Okay, Vincent?
So basically it would work in a scenario where you're ordering food.
Okay, if I'm ordering food, yes.
Yeah. I'm just thinking you're ordering food and you want different things on the menu. But it's in the same one menu that is in front of you.
Okay, I hear you. Now, instead of a menu would be a number of options, that's strings. So what I've done is I've got a little program out here that would help us determine whether a person is labeled as an adult, a teenager, or a child. So the same thing would be your menu. If you had to choose, go to a restaurant, what will be your starter, your main course, and your dessert? Okay. Now let's not talk food because I'll get hungry and never have supper as yet. Good, you got my joke. Great. Okay, let me just quickly check if I sent that invite out to, because I can't see Chantel out here. I'm not sure if Chantel is here. Chantel. Chantel, are you here?
No, she seems to not be.
No. Oh, okay.
Because she knows we're meeting today at this time.
She knows that. Okay.
She knows. I spoke to her.
Okay, doesn't matter. Maybe she's having network issues. So here's the option that I have. Now, let's say this is my age. I'm 25. Right? And I made a very simple program, and I'll tell you where I showed you where I got it. So if my age is 25, that means I should actually be labeled as an adult. All right. So let's run this program. Let's run this program. Let's build and run. Oops, this is the wrong program. Let's compile it. Run it. Uh-oh. Why is it doing that? Let's close that. Nope. Compile it. Run it. Nope. I'm just going to close that project. Right, so I'm going to try and open that project. Close that project. Build and run. Okay, this happens. Control A, Control C. I'm going to file. I'm going to close all my files. Close all my projects. For some odd reason, it's opened my previous file. I don't have time to find out what it is. I'm just wasting your time. Right, let's open up a new project. And we're going to do nested. Give me a title. NESTD nested 2. Next, finish. Right. Control A, delete, Control V. Right. Let's build and run. Right. So, Vincent, when I ran this program, remember I typed in my age as 25. It gave me an answer or an output of an adult. Right. So it says 25 means I'm an adult.
Okay.
Right. Let's look at the if statements. What happens out here? This is a typical example of a nested if. So it goes and looks at line number 5 and it says, is the age more than 14? And in line number 4, I said the age is 25. It goes and now it goes and looks, it says, yes. It goes into the next statement, says, is age more than 18? Yeah. So it says, I'm an adult. And it ignores all the other lines, right?
Because
so
it's
choices.
true.
Yeah, right? Let me now go and put in a value of 5. So we know from this program, and we know that if you are more than 5, if you're 5 years old, you're basically a child, right? So let's go and do a build and run. Let's see it running. Yay, Vincent, there we go. It displays that it's a child. Now let's see what has happened in this program. It went to line number 5 and it says, is age more than 14? And it says no. So it didn't go to line number 7, it didn't go to line number 9. And then it went on and it says, it's going to actually skip all of this and go to the next else part, right? Here's the else part. Right. It skips it and it says, is the age more than 0? Is 5 more than 0? Yeah, 5 is more than 0. And it displays child. And he didn't worry about anything else. Okay? There's the complicated nested if. It's an if within an if within an if. It goes on and on and on. Right?
I get it.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
Let's run this now where age is not 5, it's -1. I don't know why they said it's -1. The child hasn't been delivered as yet. It's in the mommy's womb. Let's build and run. Let's do a build and run on that. And I want to show you what happens where I do a build and run. Something's wrong. So what has happened with this nested if, all these complicated, lots and lots of ifs? It goes and says, is age more than 14? No. So it jumps on to the else part, which is right here, and it says something's wrong. All right? Now, I got this, Vincent, from the following websites, and you can do that as well. I was looking just to show you something, and I said, hey, let me find something that will help me to explain it to Vincent. And here it is, right? Here's the nested if statements, and I found it on developerinsider.co / nested if statements in C++. And if you want more explanation, Vincent, it's out here, right? Go and read up all of this.
You know, I think from this example that you've actually given me, it's self-explanatory. But I'd like another example, sir. Just one more.
Sure. Let's take an example from this work. Here's a nested if
because
statement.
I just want to see where in like a different scenario on maybe on how you'd use it on something else, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure. Let's take something from your guide, right? Let's take something from your learner guide.
Okay.
So let's go over what they were talking about in the nested if. Let's go to the end of the statement. You would read all of this, right, Vincent? You're going to go through all of this.
Yeah.
You have to go through all of this, and you come up with. Let's just go through the discussion. Right. What's this discussion where they talk about important points in the lesson? Here's your simple if statement, right? They spoke about the simple if statement, then your if else statement. Here's your nested statement, nested if statements. Condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, condition 4. All those conditions have to be met. It'll have to go through all those decisions. Just like age, it had to determine, is the age more than 0? Is the age more than 14? Is the age more than 18? Then it would display that it's an adult. If the age was 5, it did not go to more than 18 because it's a child that was displayed, right? So let me take an example from here. I looked at exercise 12.3. In exercise 12.3, it says, write a program that determines whether a year is a leap year. A leap year is a year which is divisible by 4, and if it is divisible by 4, it must also be divisible by 400. So there's more than one condition that needs to be met. Okay? Like I said, think about the age example. You can either be a child, you can be a teenager, or you can be an adult. Or maybe you can add another one. If you're more than 65, that means you're a pensioner, you're an old man or an old woman. All right? So see how many decisions you got to make. So the nested if statement is actually you making lots and lots and lots of decisions, right? And coming up with
basically it breaks it down.
Yes. And I found it easiest to work with where you have a number to deal with instead of you having, like you said, in a restaurant, a menu. Or maybe you go to KFC. You like KFC or McDonald's or Debonaire's Pizza?
McDonald's in this case.
Okay, let's say McDonald's. So you go to McDonald's and you say, how hungry are you? Are you very hungry? Then you need to select a Big Mac. Are you not that hungry? Maybe you need to have a small Mac. If you're not that hungry, if you are full, then you must be full. You don't buy anything, right?
Okay.
So the choices that you got to make.
No, I see it. Yeah.
Right. If you notice now, I'm just going to jump to this example here, exercise 12.3. It says write a program that determines whether a year is a leap year. So we know that a leap year has to be divisible by 4. And if it's so, it needs to be divisible by 100 and divisible by 400. So there's more than one action to be taken to determine whether it is a leap year or not.
That's correct.
All right. So
and it has to meet all those conditions.
All those conditions, correct. All those conditions, right? So I'm lucky I've got the program and I want to save some time. I want to, all right, I've typed it in. Yeah, there we go. I think this joke is getting a bit stale now where it says I'm such a fast typist. And here's let's try and get it on one page. Right. You'll notice in this nested if statements, it's got quite a few conditions that needs to be met. And if one of those conditions are not met, then it cannot ensure or display that it is a leap year. So what we've done is we've taken what we taught in English and we've written it now in if statements, else if statements. Now, that is why I like programming. It's so nice to be able to convert English, which is in a way complicated, and programming is so much easier. Not all the time, but I'll tell you a programming joke just now, right? Let's go do the example. So here's the question, and here's my code blocks. I'm putting both on screen. You should be able to see both. I'm sharing my screen in half, Vincent. Right. Vincent, can you see it says, the question says, a leap is a leap year which is divisible by 4. Is it divisible by 4? If year modulus 4 is equal to 0, then it is true. It is indeed a leap year. That's what happens out there. Can you see it says, is it divisible by 100? If year is divisible by 100, meaning that there's no remainder, then I've got to determine whether it is divisible by 400, and I got to ensure that it is. Can you see how many choices I got to make and how many actions I've got to take?
Definitely.
Before I decide on it. Now, this is where the nested if comes in.
Yeah.
If it was a simple case of it being a leap year, if it is only divisible by 100, then I have no problems in that. But let's say, I think 1996 was a leap year. Let's build and run this thing. 1996. Yes, 1996 is indeed a leap year. So if I only took into consideration that it is divisible by 100, I would have excluded 1996. All right? So that is how I know 1996 is divisible by 4, isn't it? I hope so. Let's find my calculator there. I don't like to take anything for chance. Calculator. When I'm doing that, my other Mac has died on me, so I can't see what you are seeing. Let me just charge that. Right, so let's ensure, that's my calculator. Let's look at whether 1996 divided by 4. Yes, it's indeed divisible by 4. But if I had to consider only 1996 divisible by 100, I'm going to get a fraction. And that would not have catered for this instance out here. Vincent, you follow it? You follow it?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yep.
Good. Stop me wherever you want to if you have a question, right? So there's another example.
No, I think I'm getting it now.
You're getting it. Good, good.
Yeah.
So here's another example of a nested if with numbers in it. And there's my Boolean values. Remember yesterday, Chantal asked about Boolean, and she wanted to know how do we express it and what do we assign it to and all that goes with it. There's the Boolean talk about it, right? Boolean, leap is a Boolean, and leap was assigned the value false. A Boolean variable can only assign one of two values, true or false.
Yes.
Okay. Does that help you?
Very much so.
Good. Now, I also have other help available for you. Vincent, there's a site called W3 Schools. I've got it out here. www.w3schools.com. And you go to, let me go to programming, C++. There we go, learn C++. Right? I hope you can see that on screen. This will also help you to get to grips with difficult concepts. And what you should learn after this if statement and the nested if is the switch statement. The switch statement actually takes all these complicated looking ifs and else if statements and puts it into a nice little expression like this. Right? So
yeah, I remember we covered the switch statement in,
yes,
I think, was it assignment 3, where we had the different days, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Forget about it. As long as you finish all the assignments, you got the marks. Hopefully your course mark is updated, right? So yeah, so that's it. Can you see now? We've also got to make a choice. We got to decide which day is day 4, and in this case, it's Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
So just like I had age, if I had age 1 to 3 or 4, 5, 6 or whatever it is, I could have decided whether it is child, an adult, or a teenager. Okay. Now, how you study this section, Vincent? You've got your study guide. There's your study guide.
Yes, I do.
You've got these 4 exercises. You've got the answers. You've got the notes. Go through each program, put it into code blocks, run the program, see what happens. Change the input, see what happens. Draw a trace table, see what happens. Okay? Listen to this video again. And there's other videos as well on the net. You can find it, right? Okay, Vincent.
Yes, I'm happy.
You happy? I'm happy too. I'm happy too. Right?
There's a suggestion. Sorry, sir, just to interject.
Yes, sure.
There's a suggestion.
Whenever you want to.
Maybe from tomorrow onwards.
Yes.
I don't know if the other guys also would like to maybe go through question papers, past question papers. Chantel is saying that maybe from Tuesday to Thursday, can we just go through maybe question paper just to maybe get a feel of what
give me a question paper that you have. Give me a question paper and I can work out the answer before.
This sir said you must give him Chantel.
Hello, Chantel.
And there's the questions that I also have. I'll try and send them too.
Okay, send me a question paper and which one you want, and I'll try and work it out. And I also have uploaded some question papers and some answers, memos. I'm sure you would have checked it out on the MyUnisa website. Right, go to the MyUnisa website. I'll share that with you now. Go to additional resources. And you go to past year question papers. There we go, past year examination papers. Right? There's the question paper, all of them, 2010, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015, there's 2019 as well. And, oh, I didn't put the answers here. Oh, I thought I put the answers. Let me see if I put, oh, there we go, there's the answers there. Memos. There's all the answers as well. Here's the answers, the solutions to those papers. Okay? Will you all check that out, Vincent?
Yes, sir.
Right? Download those.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Download those papers. All right? And I can guarantee you, looking at these examination papers, I can spot what's going to come out. I can tell you now, structs will be there towards the end. There'll be a question on 2-dimensional arrays. There'll be a question on 1-dimensional arrays. There'll be a question on the loops. A loop must come out, either the for loop or the while loop must come out. There'll be a question on selection. Modulus, that remainder, that percentage sign, that must come out. That appears in papers. I can show it to you now, prove it to you now. Let me take one of those papers and I'll find it out there, right? You'll find it out there. Yeah. But we don't know what the 2021 paper looks like. We're just guessing. We're speculating what it is. Okay. Vincent, you cool? Oh, there's a chat. Can we maybe change the time of meetings? Okay, Hein, you have a suggestion? Sure. Sure.
He wanted us to, or she wanted us to maybe change the time. I saw that.
Okay, I could do that. What?
But to what time as well? I think maybe, yeah. What time is comfortable for him?
So is it tomorrow when you have something to do?
Would you like it earlier at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Okay, 6 o'clock. All right. Hein says 6 o'clock. All right. Hein, do you have a question or query that I could explain to you? Do you have something? Okay, not yet. All right, sure.
What are we doing tomorrow?
I'll post my
6 o'clock tomorrow
in the chat. Right, there's my cell phone.
I wanted us to do 2-dimensional arrays. And 2-dimensional arrays.
All right, arrays and 2-dimensional. Okay, sure. I'll do that tomorrow. right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Is that all, Vincent?
Thank you, sir.
Questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
You're good. Okay. Then let's call it a night. You need to study. The ball is in your court, right? I don't know what you don't understand, what you understand, and what it is, but I've given you some strategies. I've told you, helped you. And if you are having difficulty, you ask me and we will set up a time. All right? So tomorrow at 6 o'clock,
All right,
I'll
sir.
see you for 2 dimensions.
Cheers, bye.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, sir.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Oh, classes. Hein has asked about classes. Hein, classes generally, if you notice, classes, it's towards the end of the study guide. If you look at past year papers, they haven't concentrated so much on classes. All right? That's generally the next module that you're dealing with. Okay? All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's do our goodbyes. Goodbyes, goodbye. Good luck, good luck. All the best to you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All the very best. Good luck to you.